Why do I keep visiting with her? I mean, it's not like it used to be, and I don't want to remember this. Not with the same partially dried drop of spittle hanging off the lower lip, the same blob of porridge or gruel or whatever crap they serve here on the bathrobe. And that same drip, drip, drip of God only knows what bodily fluid leaking out from the pajamas, making the same putrid puddle next to the wheelchair wheel. Doesn't anyone else see what I see around this place? I don't want to remember this monochromatic gray world. Gray walls, gray clothes, gray food, gray music, gray people, gray everything. I mean, we don't even talk anymore. We stare, and not at each other, because I can't stand to see the way she looks at me now. Because she doesn't even see me anymore. So we both just stare at the grayness and think our gray thoughts of our now gray lives. You know, we used to think colorful thoughts. Way back in those multi-hued days, the bygone, the vivid images of the beginning of our life together, of spring flowers, and the luminescent verdure of the rolling hills and the sparkling azure mornings and the crimson and golden sunsets. We fondly recalled the many shades of white in winter, skiing and sledding and making snow angels, and the crisp clean linens of the freshly made bed which we ruffled passionately and noisily, there in that cozy little ski chalet we shared in December. We remembered the hues, the innumerable hues of black at midnight, our awkward, blind fumbling while exploring each other for the very first time in the dark. The midnight walks in the mountains with the obsidian sky, broken only by the white pointillism of the stars and the golden beacon of the moon. Well, through the years, these colors faded for a while, of course, but they always grew bright again, as we knew they must. But then they didn't. Our vision got tinted and obscured, and at first it was clouded just by an opaque screen, the color of ruby red wine, but then it grew darker and fuzzier through the otherwise colorless haze of gin and morphine. Now it was just a heavy, suffocating gray fog that envelops and drains every last bit of color from even the memories. Why do I keep visiting with her? The tinkling bell signaled the end of the visiting hour, and I didn't wave goodbye or kiss her meaninglessly on the cheek or acknowledge in any way that this was the end. Not that she would have had any ability to comprehend what I wanted to say to her, now that I'd banished her to the silent gray world of eternity. As the aides arrived to wheel the patients back into their rooms, I tried to get their attention, but no one seemed to notice. I grew frantic, not wanting to be left there with her anymore. I wanted out, but no one came. All the other visitors were escorted to the exits, and all the other patients were wheeled out, but no one was left there but us. As I sat silently, she grew more and more out of focus. Then her grayness faded to nothingness. And finally, I was all alone in the colorless void.
Come on, Mr. Ash,
said the pretty young nurse with the bright golden hair flecked with an explosion of synthetic color. Her twinkling blue eyes and pink-painted lips were set off by her crisp white uniform. She gently wiped the partially dried spittle from my lower lip. I tried to thank her, but all that came out was a gurgle and a sudden glob of cereal.
Mr. Ash, you spilt your breakfast on your robe again, you messy little boy.
Well, dabbing at the noxious mess, she sweetly motioned for the orderly to clean up the puddle next to my wheelchair.
Time for our exercises.
She cooled whilst happily wheeling me down the bright yellow hallway lined with cheap, colorful posters of Monet and Renoir, eventually stopping at the large picture window.
Now look outside, Mr. Ash. It's so dark and dreary out there. A big storm is surely brewing. The roads will be treacherous, and I know she just couldn't bear to come all this way on a dingy gray day like